listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
Good morning. You are listening to the Frank Skinner radio show, but we're Frankless today, aren't we, boys?
It is a Frankless job.
Oh, lovely, Alun, starting early. Big Daddy has left Uncle Buck in charge this week, so crack out the brewskis, boys. Let's get partying. Gareth undone a top button there.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it was already undone.
Okay.
But I'll undo another one if you want.
Okay, I've got... No, I'm fine. I'm good with one.
It just happened.
Okay. You can text the show on 81215, or you can follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, or you can email the show. Does anyone ever email the show?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cleared that up. Yeah, so text us, don't DM us though, that's for sleazebags, and do all the other things you need to do. How are you, boys? I should say I'm with Alun Cochrane this morning, and I am also with Gareth Richards.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I missed something extraordinary last week because I was away, which I'll get on to. It's a story involving Montenegro and David Gandy. That's all you need to know right now.
Mm-hmm.
However, Alan, I missed some very exciting news about you. Would you care to share?
Oh, that I did Coronation Street
Yes!
this week. I can't believe that you've just trailed my Coronation Street appearance with your Montenegro and David Gandy. That's already like... Okay, tell us your little story, Alan. Yeah, I did it yesterday. They were very nice, very friendly. Very friendly. And there was an extremely...
What's your part? Are you allowed to say?
I am at a school reunion with one of the regulars. Like, I went to school with one of the regulars. And
Gareth.
I'm only in one episode, but...
And do you play yourself, or do you play a character?
I play, I think it's a friendly northern bloke or something like that. So, yeah,
that's in keeping with who you are. You're very friendly.
I'm not that
Definitely
friendly.
2 out of 3.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely a bloke, yeah.
Do you have a name?
Yes, Dom.
Oh, you're very Dom. I can see you as a Dom.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to go on about it, but they were all very nice. I actually am slightly sad that one of them wasn't horrible and that I can come in and tell jokes about how horrible they were, but they were lovely. And the excitement in the cafeteria about it being Fish and Chip Friday was... off the scale.
I do have concerns, though. Mm-hmm. I've got to be honest with you. Are you going to be one of those people that work together for one day and then you're going to set up a Facebook group and WhatsApp and say, hey, guys,
that's exactly
it's
the
Dom.
sort of...
Dom from Corrie. We worked together that day.
Yep, just like me. Like, that's definitely what I do in it. I used to be a TV warm-up man and I never shut up about that, do I? All that stuff. I wouldn't...
I'm really excited.
No, it was nice.
Did you get to go to the pub as well?
No, but I was in the bistro. I don't think that's a spoiler alert.
There's a bistro on Coronation Street.
There's a bistro.
What's happened? When did it get all 70s?
Everything's changed, guys. The world is moving forward. Even Corrie's got, like, Wi-Fi and a bistro with, chalk writing, slogans that say, oh, you can't be unhappy if you're near a pie.
Who has bistros now? That is so 70s. What do they serve? Coq au vin?
Yeah, the North. That's why I was on it, Coq au vin, because, that was my nickname.
Oh,
Where's Montenegro?
Well, we'll get to that in a minute. Montenegro. We'll get to Montenegro. Is it Montenegro or Montenegro?
It's in the Balkans. It's a small country in the Balkans.
Is that right?
Mm.
Yes, I know that. I just went there with David Gandy.
Part of the former Yugoslavia.
Is it really?
Mm.
Oh.
I know that.
I actually thought it was in the Bahamas or something.
It means...
I've got no idea.
That is so embarrassing.
Is it?
It means Black Mountain.
Does it?
Yeah.
And is
Montenegro. That's what it means.
Is there a Black Mountain there? Is that why?
I don't know. I didn't see it.
Oh,
okay. Anyway, we need to talk about Frank, because I've heard some rumours about him this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Well, have you heard them? Apparently he's going to be the next Doctor Who companion.
Oh my gosh. But is that 100% confirmed?
No, I don't think so.
I know it is, because I saw on Twitter...
Hang on, the rumour is 100% a rumour, but I don't think it is confirmed as a fact.
I saw on Twitter, there was something on Twitter
this
which
is how
said,
all the best news stories start, isn't it? I saw on Twitter.
I mean, there was one man with a sort of egg avatar when I say I saw it on Twitter. But he was saying he's being touted as the new Doctor Who companion because the logic is that the announcement is being made during the FA Cup semi-final.
Mm-hmm.
And he is the only crossover between football and Doctor Who, Frank. Is that what they're saying?
Yeah.
He's as close as you're going to get.
He's the only man who likes both.
He brought football home.
Yeah.
Did he?
And he helped the Doctor
do
in some way.
stuff. Yeah.
What if he is the
train.
new assistant or companion or whatever, their PA? I don't know. And he never told us.
I don't.
Oh, man.
The thing is, like, Alan's going to Corrie, Frank's going off into time. Like, it's tearing us apart.
What about the rest of you guys? Yeah.
You know what? It's fine, because I'll always have David Gandy.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Alan keeps literally falling out of his chair.
Yeah, I keep leaning on the left arm.
Don't we all,
rest.
darling, when we grew up in North London?
Yeah. And it sort of collapses. And that time when I did it, Daisy, the producer, honestly rolled her eyes as if to go, is he going to ever stop leaning on that armrest? Because it's been like 4 weeks in a row now that I've done it all the way through the show. So I think I'll just leave it now.
Just leave it.
I'm going to stop leaning
By the
on
way,
it.
we should say, you can text the show. Do you like the way I just changed the subject because I got bored?
Yeah.
We can,
Bored is fine.
yeah, I was bored.
I'm very familiar with that.
Let me say the bit. You can text the show on 8 12 15. You can follow the show on Twitter. What's our Twitter handle, Alan?
At Frank on the radio.
Good boy for a Twitter avoider. Hi, Gareth.
Hello.
Morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. What?
834 has texted, the Doctor's assistant is always a female. Is Frank camping it up for the role? He might. I think he'd be prepared to be in Doctor Who frequently.
Well, he did wear a sort of flat cap when he was Perkins.
I don't think that's camp.
Oh, is it not?
If it is, then the north
You
of
sound-
England has got a shock coming
I was going to
through.
say, you sound quite defensive when you say that.
Fine with it.
May I also say that the Doctor's assistant is not always female. There
Yeah.
have been many male assistants
Nonsense.
Right.
in the
Like who?
history of the show.
Nonsense. you're
Oh,
right.
men. Men from, well, with
Oh, just call you Wikipedia, Gareth.
They're not big
Oh,
names,
men.
those
with
guys.
with Billy and the other one, Daisy. I don't know if they're their real names or their show names, but they both of their
Extraordinary sentence.
both
Can
of their.
you never
Don't deconstruct my sentences.
Can you never introduce a band on stage? There's Billy and the other one, not really sure who that is.
Both of their boyfriends went in the TARDIS and travelled with them.
Who's boyfriends?
The Billy Piper
Oh,
Rose.
okay.
and
Piper's character's
the one-
boyfriend went
yes,
in the TARDIS.
Yeah.
Noel Clark
Yes.
Yes.
And the other one.
and the other one.
And the other boyfriend. Yeah.
I think
who was
even
dressed as a Roman.
people who subscribe to Who alerts are switched off now.
And I would also, I think we should make it clear that it is a rumour at this stage. We can't confirm more than
Rumour has
I.
it.
Of course it's a rumour, because it's never going to happen.
You really think that?
Why not?
I mean,
Don't
it
say
might
that.
do.
Frank wouldn't like it if you said that.
Never said
I'd
that.
hate-
tell him.
I'd hate to upset Frank. Oh, why don't you, Gareth? I think you're the man for the job. Let's
What?
put him forward.
What?
Why don't you text
What?
Frank and ask him? Do it, and in the next break, just say, look, just tell us straight, are you the new companion?
Okay, have you got Frank's number?
I'll read it out on air.
He's never let me have it. have
Yeah.
it?
Okay, well, it's very exciting. And if it's... Can you imagine? Because Gary Lineker might be announcing it, because it's on Match of the Day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I don't know why they're announcing Doctor Who on Match of the Day. This is the whole point, isn't it?
Well, this is why people are thinking it might be Frank.
Mm.
Okay. Oh, he's going to be so happy if he's listening from his little, where is he, a camping stove or something he'll be gathered around. Oh, I haven't told you about David Gandy and my holiday with him in Montenegro.
Awesome.
Do you want to hear about it?
Yeah.
I'm desperate to hear about it.
Tough, I'm going to play an advert.
Absolute
Absolute
Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
This is the Frank Skinner show, or should I say, the New Companions show, because I'm genuinely starting to think Frank might be the new Doctor Who companion. One of us has just come up with a very good theory. Would one of you care to elaborate?
Well, we've had a message on Twitter from someone saying, just listing the previous male companions, just to clear that up, because I don't know whether they feel like my explanation of that wasn't enough.
I'll be honest, your explanation was somewhat confused by the fact that the Billy you mentioned was a girl. And then you were using that as an example of boys that had been in the TARDIS.
Yeah.
And I think because you just said Billy and the other ones.
Yes.
And I think I said all the right words, but not necessarily in the right order. He says...
I like the way that you said that and I'm rather pleased with yourself.
Boasting about the lack of poetry.
Anyway, as you were.
Troy Astart, I think it is.
He sounds nice.
It says...
Made up name.
He does. He just sounds like he'd be handsome. He can come in the kayak with me and David Gandy. I must remind me to talk about that.
I will.
Later.
Okay. That's what I said to David. He wouldn't leave me alone, though.
Ian Chesterton was a companion right from the beginning, and of course Brigg, Lethbridge Stewart, Harry Sullivan, and Adric.
When you say "and of course Brigg," I have no idea who Brigg is.
No, well, I don't know who any of these people are either, but they're previous Doctor Who male companions.
So
the plot thickens.
Well, I'll tell you what
but
does
he could be a
thicken the
male
plot.
companion, Al, in the sort of civil partnership sense.
I'm not
Because that
sure.
would be very modern, and they'd be a lovely couple, Frank and, what's his name?
Capaldi.
Oh, yeah.
The Doctor.
Lovely.
Also known as the Doctor.
Yeah, the Doctor.
Nugget has texted in, frequent texter of the show, and he has said perhaps Frank began whitening his teeth to clinch the Doctor's assistant gig.
That's what it is!
He says, have a good one.
OMGANDY.
And I'll tell you what.
He is the new companion.
Well, I've also got another theory. I mean, like, he's watched
That's why he's got white teeth out!
He's watched both series of Broadchurch back to back.
Yeah, but
and
what's...
the new dude on Doctor Who is the Broadchurch guy.
No way.
Yeah.
OMGANDY Mark II. This is getting a little bit strange now. Frank, if you're listening, please put us out of our misery.
He can't. He's backstage in a tunnel at Wembley.
Gary's going to bring him onto the pitch.
Is it... Hang on, can I throw a curveball at you guys? Is it beyond reasonable doubt that it might be someone connected to football that is not Frank Skinner? Like, we might watch the...
What,
FA
Robbie
Cup
Savage?
Wouldn't that be a big story, though? Like, if we turned it on and it was Robbie Savage was...
Vinnie Jones does acting.
Vinnie Jones does
the
acting.
footballer.
Been overlooked.
Yeah.
Eric Cantona. Imagine if Eric Cantona ran out.
Yes.
I'm the new assistant. When the trailer follows the fish.
I'd like someone a bit obscure, like Bobby Zamora.
That'd be great.
Oh, I'd love that. Well, anyway, we could talk about this all morning, and in fact, we will continue to. But I'm just in shock because it's all coming together now. I feel like Helen Mirren in the detective sense,
I
not
see,
in
yes.
the I'm 70 sense.
Or you are in a bikini.
How
Yes,
dare you.
bikinis. Let's talk about Montenegro. Where
yes.
If I'm absolutely honest, what islands did you say that it was?
It's one
part
of the Balkans, isn't it?
I don't know where they are either.
They're in Star Trek.
Oh, are they?
Yes. No, the
What
Balkans.
flight did you get?
It's near. It was a jet privé. Thank you.
Nice.
The Balkans. Will you explain, Gareth?
It used to be in
Croatia.
Yugoslavia,
Yeah.
and I think they used to be like one state with Serbia, but then there was an agreement that 2 years into it they would have a referendum about whether they wanted it to be independent.
Okay, that's
And
a lot of
so-
information. Thank you for
Great.
that.
This is great
Basically,
info.
it's near Croatia.
Okay.
Okay.
And it's now one of these Eastern European beachy places where the
That is what they're called,
the beautiful
collectively.
go, because no
It
one
is.
else knows about them yet.
That is good.
Only the
And you know, I've actually
media
been there.
elite.
I've been there, Gareth.
yeah.
So I
know.
will be talking about it. No, that was a really good explanation of it.
Yeah, they like to explain things.
Yeah.
Great. What currency do they use, Gareth? Sorry, you want to tell us, don't you, Emily?
Currents.
I'd love
they deal completely in currents.
I'd love to tell you, but I didn't
That's
put
the
my
end of
hand in my pocket once.
Did anyone else?
You are absolutely accurate.
Skinner, Dean, and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
This is the Frank Skinner Show, by the way. You can text us on 81215. You can follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio. And I'm joined this morning by the Cockerel and by Gareth Richards. And what will we talk... Oh, I'll tell you what I would like to talk about this morning. Did I say I'm called Emily Dean? Because they might not know who I am, Daisy. I'm Emily
If you
Dean.
did, you're Emily Dean.
Oh, okay. What about Prince George in that bathrobe?
Yeah, it's a strange little photograph, isn't it? Where
Yeah.
Obama and his dad are both stooping. They're sort of squatting down to say night-night to him, it seems like.
Yes.
And he
Because
looks...
he met Obama last night.
He looks like the best presented child after a bath ever to me. Like, he's got He's got his pyjama top buttoned right up to the top, like he's a mod or something. Like a mod in a polo shirt in a Fred Perry.
Al, you shouldn't be wearing a bathrobe to meet Barack Obama. It's so disrespectful. I don't care how old you are. If that was my child, I'd wear a bathrobe all tight, cinched at the waist.
I think it was quite late at night, or not late, but, you know, for him, I think if he hadn't have been in his gym jams, there would have been controversy about how late at night he was allowed to stay up.
That's a good point, actually.
Oh, the old royalist over there.
We don't want our future monarch to be kept up late at night
just for
by
POTUS.
any man.
I know,
I think
but I
POTUS
think
would be fine with it. I think POTUS would be like, yeah, it's fine. He's got his PJs on.
I just think the monogram velvet slippers were a touch de trop, and I also think it was a little bit Richie Rich. You know, I can't even be bothered to get dressed for you. I don't care who you are.
There's pictures of him on a rocking horse as well, and it's not like a plasticky, rubbishy rocking horse like my children would have. It's like a wooden royal rocking horse.
I think it's so
that's all
cruel.
too much.
How many hands high do you think the rocking horse is?
But, you know, I think this is cruel because they should let him play with minions and frozen Lego castles, not some old rocking horse. How embarrassing with his
Minions, you mean like his subjects?
Yeah.
Let him play with the minions!
Yeah, they're probably
Oh,
quite
no,
careful
Mother, I
about-
don't think we should have anything like that. No, I mean from Despicable Me.
Oh,
It also looks like that he's saying, hello, this is Mr. Obama. He's from the United States. Oh, really, Daddy? Is that one of ours? No, not anymore, son.
do you remember Frank did point out, I say Frank, I should say, Peter Capaldi's new friend, shall we say?
Yeah.
Very good friend. Frank did
Are they
point
going out?
Yes.
Well,
What are
they
you
are in
suggesting?
Doctor
Oh,
Who.
the
It's a
Doctor Who
civil
thing. Oh, okay,
partnership.
sorry, I
It's
don't know.
clearly going to be a civil partnership, and I like that. Has anyone heard from Frank, by the way?
No, not
No, nothing yet.
Defo new companion, then. Yeah, no, Frank has pointed out that Prince George looks like a bit of a bruiser. He does. There is something quite aggressive, and there was something. I'm sure he's a lovely little boy, but
I'm not so sure. I think he's got an edge.
I think he looks
I mean,
nice.
that's, no, that's not based on anything. I just...
I just think if you don't want to look entitled, put some clothes on when POTUS comes
He
into your
definitely
house.
looks entitled. I don't think I mean, none of my children ever look that tidy during the day, let alone at night time, right before bed. He looks like his robe has been ironed. Like,
An ironed robe.
what a life.
Yeah. Oh, you know what I still haven't talked about?
Montenegro.
Yeah.
David Gandy?
Yes.
Oh. Have you got time to talk about it now?
No.
Absolute
Absolute
Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I think the time has come for us to go over to Montenegro. Sorry, Alan. You were going to say?
I was going to say, you were away next week. You were away last week, rather. And
It's gone all time travelling.
it's the Doctor Who thing.
Yeah, in a
And you
nod
were-
to Big Daddy's new role.
This isn't like a wind-up, is it? It's not like you're pranking us. You were genuinely away because you were... Was it kayaking in Montenegro with David Gandy or something?
Yes, it was a Tuesday in my life. This is what I do.
Are your weekends planned by what was left over on Alan Partridge's dictaphone when, like, kayaking, David Gandy, Montenegro?
How dare you?
Is that what happens?
It was an extraordinary weekend.
Amazing.
I was flown out there.
Was it a work engagement or business or pleasure as well? I'm
Yes,
asking?
it was a
You
work
think, oh,
engagement.
okay.
It was with...
Gandy suggested it.
yeah. Oh, I
I
imagine
really
I'd
like
loved it.
kayaking, Emily. What are you doing
Emily.
on the weekend of...
Gandy here. Fancy a kayak?
Now, it's the male model Gandy.
Yeah.
Yeah, not Mahatma,
No.
who not only is not alive, sadly, but I don't think would have gone kayaking with me on a private jet.
Oh, okay.
Good point. All
But
good points.
Apparently they do have the exact same percentage of body fat, though, I've heard.
Yes,
No, Mahatma had way more.
probably.
Oh.
I mean, Mahatma
Big
was great,
talk.
but David,
Big
come
talk.
on.
Did your Gandy wear sandals?
Mahatma or David, text in 81215. I'm Team David, gotta say.
Team David.
Right.
Sarah, who works on this show, did confess to something of a huge crush on DG before I left.
As did Alan, as did Gareth,
think
as
he's
did Emily.
attractive?
As did Frank, I did pretty much everyone. No, I was
Yeah.
kind of, oh yeah, he's okay. And
He
then
showed us a video of a.
and then
of
I
an
saw
advert.
him.
Yeah.
I saw him in shorts. Oh my god!
He's all right.
Yes, that's how I spoke the whole time when I was with
Is it?
him.
Doesn't seem like the real you.
No, it really wasn't. He didn't see the best of me.
Sorry.
I think it's best if we're just platonic friends, though. I think I'd feel threatened every time we went out with the women going, ah!
Yeah.
And that was just me. But they went on the private
I just
jet.
want to start, David. I don't want you to fall in love with me. I think we should just be friends. Just stop right there.
I gave him that speech.
Yeah, I can imagine it.
He looked a bit nonplussed.
We're always giving that speech.
The eyes of the man. I mean, steel blue. Steely blue eyes. I'm not even going to go there with the body. Because...
Oh my God,
Steely and
dude,
blue.
tell
How
me.
cold was it?
hot in here. Hot in here, isn't it? Anyway...
Did he take his shirt off? Sorry, my voice went
No,
there.
I'm not going to treat him like a piece of meat. Yes, I am. No, we went on the private jet.
Right.
I appreciate that's not the most inclusive of anecdotes to
No.
start with, but
Private
I
jet.
didn't pay for this. This was a Jaguar. We were flying out there with Jaguar because David's the ambassador, you see, and he's a racing driver as well.
Is he?
Yes, I think he's got all his certificates and things.
Wow.
He knows what he's doing.
He could have done Top Gear.
Well, he overtook me on a hairpin.
Oh,
More of
good
which
for him.
later. But I always worry about private jets because I've only been on one once in my life before. Broken Britain. And when I was last on a private jet, an Oyster card fell out of my bag.
Oh, they don't
And-
take Oyster.
They don't take Oyster and they look at you like you're the worst person in the world if that happens.
This
they don't
is
know what
something
it
like
is.
our reader's broken. Our Oyster reader's broken. You don't need that today. as far
There's
as-
only one
Maybe
type of
they-
oyster on a private jet. There's not anything to do with London transport. But anyway, this is me, champagne taste beer money. So anyway, we get on, and he is.
You get on the private jet or you get on with each other?
We get on the private
Okay.
jet, and I think I've got to play a song now.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
shall
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Me too.
Well, so is OMGANDY by the time I finish with him.
Absolute
Absolute.
Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So do you want to know the first thing I said to David Gandy?
Yes.
And I think this kind of floored him. I thought I'm going to come out with one of my best shut-up lines. So we were in the lounge, waiting to take off,
Was
pre-take
he wearing
off.
some Marks and Spencer's loungewear that he would probably has his own name in it?
Yeah. Oh no, he's got an underpants range.
Oh, I know.
Underpants doesn't sound very sexy, does it?
know,
I should
no,
say
it doesn't.
underwear. Underpants.
Yeah, I know. I've seen it advertised.
Yeah.
I've not got any though. Anyway.
Well, I'll see what I can do. Dave, I call him Dave now. We're on
that'd be
Dave
great.
terms. If you're listening, can you send us some underwear?
Great.
Please.
And for Frank, because he loves underwear.
I'd like it to be worn, please.
And and the other thing is, Dave, I feel like I'm broadcasting just to you, but the other thing is, Dave, Frank wears snide Calvins from the market, with a frayed waistband.
Calvin Classics.
Calvin Classics. So he could do with some Gandy, some OMGs.
Me too.
Anyway, so we're in the lounge, and I saw him standing there. I thought, I'll go over and make an intro. People are scared, not him. I'm going to go straight over there. You know what my opener was? My cold opener? Is there hot water in that jug?
Nice. Nice.
You know what he said?
Is that a line that's been used on you before?
Yeah.
You know what OMG said? He said, I don't know. And do you know
That's
what I
that
said? Do you know-
Immediate chemistry.
Yeah.
do you know how I responded?
No.
Oh my god, that's so funny. So from then on, I knew we were going to get on famously.
You had rapport from the very beginning.
We
That
did.
wasn't a pun on the jug. But now I realise
Oh,
that
but it's a rather fine joke.
in retrospect. It is.
So, oh no, I should segue between
You
David
segued
Gandy.
as well as kayaking.
Wow.
Oh my god, you guys.
It's not segue, it's segged, isn't it?
No, stay
Anyway,
still.
well, before we get to the kayaking, I also had a Frank incident on my travels.
Right.
Because Jo Elvin was there, who's the editor of Glamour, one of my friends. And I like Jo because she's very forthright. She's Aussie, and she tells it like it is. Mm-hmm. And she had a story about Frank.
All right.
I'm going to have to do her accent now because it's an Australian accent. But that's okay. We're okay with doing an Australian accent.
yeah,
It's not
totally
offensive or anything, is it?
Totally
Well,
fine.
it depends on the accent, but go ahead.
Have a go. We'll judge it.
She said,
do you work for that Frank Skinner?
she doesn't talk. Don't make her sound like Kath and Kim. She's a very sophisticated, elegant,
Okay.
chic woman. How dare you? But she said, I ran into Frank before. I thought, what a showbiz event in London's glittering London. No. She said, no, I saw him in heels. I said, oh, did you? The furniture store.
All right.
She said, yeah, he queue-jumped, to be honest.
I thought I didn't know he wore heels. That's
Yeah.
one of the special days.
She said he queue-jumped, to be honest.
He queue-jumped in heels.
I said, what was he buying? She said, a bin. I thought, Frank Skinner buying a bin. I mean, I love
What's
him
the
dearly,
world
but come
come
on,
to?
it's not the most,
No.
the people
Probably why
Jo's
he
met in her
queue-jumped.
life.
He probably doesn't want to be seen buying a bin in the back of the queue. He thought,
Yeah.
I need to get out of here.
Well,
The Skinner brand's going downhill if too many people see me buying this bin.
Frank denies it.
Oh.
Frank
Never
said,
bought a bin.
Did he say that story's a load of rubbish? Hey?
oh, Alun.
Thank you.
Some of your finest work.
The Frank Skinner Show. Listen live every Saturday morning from 8 on Absolute Radio.
You can text the show this morning on 81215, please do. You can follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, or you can email the show via the Absolute Radio website.
We've had a text message from someone regarding, we were talking about Prince George meeting Obama,
Yes, we were.
and they have said, I spotted on social media this morning that the rocking horse was given to George by Obama when George was born.
Oh, that's rather
So
lovely
that's
then.
why, yeah.
So I think, like...
Oh, yeah, once again, the royal apologist
So
over
that's
here.
why.
But I think that's...
That was from 881.
The royalists, the royals, they're obviously just like normal people, and when a visitor is coming, they go, oh, we'd better get that gift out, wipe it down with a J-cloth, and then pretend that he plays with it all the time. That's obviously what's going to happen there, isn't
Do
it?
you think in a... s- It's a
thanks for this wooden horse, because we haven't got any real horses for him to go on. Yeah, that's really great.
It's a slightly more highfalutin version of when Frank cracked out the NASA hoodie
Yeah.
when I came round on
Yeah, he loves that, doesn't
post-Boxing Day. Well, he put it on the next day, and
We've
that,
not
to
seen it
me,
since.
was true friendship. Not the only sign from him, but one of the most moving for me. You've been
Gonna
talking...
miss that guy when he's in the TARDIS, aren't we?
I'm following him in. He's not getting away from me. So the Queen turned 90. Was it 90 this week?
90th birthday.
right.
I mean, she has 2 birthdays a year, so she's really only 45, isn't she? She's...
Wait, what?
Have I got that
She have
wrong?
2 birthdays.
Doesn't the Queen have 2 birthdays a year? She's got an official birthday and a real birthday. I don't know
Oh, she's
which
got
one.
all sorts, love.
I don't know which one this was, but...
She, there was loads of, sort of, I was going to say incidents, but that makes them sound like terrible...
Festivities!
Yeah, festivities is the best word.
Celebrating our monarch.
Pomp and ceremony,
Yeah.
that was.
Born to reign over us.
What have you two turned into, like strange footmen? The first was the cake.
There was a lot of cake.
Nadia from... Is it... No, Nadia was from Big Brother, wasn't she?
No, I think it is
It is
Nadia or Nadia?
Nadia.
from Bake Off.
She was
Winner
from
of
Bake Off.
Winner of Bake Off.
Off of Bake Off, as I like to say.
Bake Off.
She baked her a cake, which I've got to say was absolutely horrible.
Did you get a slice?
It looked awful.
It looked-
It was purple and gold. It looked like wallpaper from a 1970s semi. You'd know about that. I didn't like it.
She might have been told to do it in those colours.
Yeah, but you can have the colours but still have a nice cake, can't
It
you?
looked a bit wonky, I thought. I don't
It did
know
look like
if
it was
the
leaning
angle.
slightly, but I'm no expert on cake.
I didn't
she-
love it.
She said that she was a bit under pressure, and it must be quite stressful.
All right, Freddie Mercury. Calm
cake-
down, dear.
Like the Queen said, "Will it cut?" That's what she said to her about it. Will
No,
it cut?
no,
she
no,
said?
Mum, this is one of those non-cutting cakes.
What about Prince Philip said, what's inside? What do you think's inside?
It was a lemon drizzle.
Chopped liver?
I
It's
think,
cake.
or an orange drizzle.
Yes.
Well, I think the Queen has had problems in the past cutting a fruitcake that the WI made.
Oh, I
So
see.
she's very worried about fruitcake.
Has she come a Roy Cropper with currants?
Yeah, she's, I think, hard icing and then tough fruit, like a rock cake. I mean, nobody can cut a rock cake. That's why it's called a rock cake, isn't
Yeah.
it? But if like a firm fruit cake is the Queen's
She's no novice
kryptonite.
when it comes to cake cutting. She's done
She
it
didn't
before.
even eat it. Shouldn't eat any of
You
it.
can't eat any of the food.
Girlfriend's got form. Do you know?
That's rude.
I tell you what, though, that knife, the ceremonial knife,
I didn't see the knife. What was it like?
length on it was
A
huge.
big long knife.
A machete. Did she take a machete to the cake?
Yes.
Is it like, is the cake a knight now?
Yeah.
Because it's been like, when she does with the sword on them.
It was practically, it was so long, it was like, it was scimitar. It was one of those things you see on the front of an airport novel. It was that sort of a knife. I mean, I was quite impressed. Yeah, but we need to get onto the photograph. Because there was a photograph of the Queen taken by Annie Leibovitz with all her, is it great-grandchildren?
Yeah, well, there's actually 3 photographs released in celebration of the Queen's 90th birthday, which, I'm going to be honest, in the digital age, I think is stingy. 3 photos. Oh, Viscount, you spoilers. What happened to the other 3,000 that you took that day?
Yeah.
Stingy.
Like 3 photos is breakfast.
Oh, God.
People post 3 photos.
Well, we need to
of
talk about these photos, because the children, it was... I mean, where are they buying their clothes? 1943 shop.
Yes. I think
Like evacuees, they look
The Royal
like.
Family
I
shop.
think it listed where they bought their clothes. I think one of it was from M&S.
Oh, that's where you know who has an underwear
yes.
range there, or underpants, as I like to say.
David Gandy, the best looking man in the world.
Jealous much?
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
What about when you met the Queen?
Yes. Well, it was very exciting.
So tell us. No wonder he's such a royalist.
Yeah, no wonder.
Well, I was at school, back in my school days. I was going to Windsor Boys' School at the time.
Windsor, that makes sense.
Yes, so I think that's how they wangled the booking.
Oh yeah. It wasn't jongleurs when you say the booking.
And there was a new building being opened.
Lovely.
And the Queen was coming to have a look at it and to open the building.
She's going to have a look at it like she's got a snagging list.
Yeah.
Oh, someone could have rubbed that bit back.
What
She's her job. She comes and has a look at things.
It's a snagger.
do tell? What was the building?
It was sort of like the sixth form building, I think, and there was a new drama studio, which I did drama in that drama studio.
Okay, it's a lot of info. So, how was the Queen?
She was quite small and sort of grey.
What was she wearing?
Clothes. Queenie sort of. The sort of thing the Queen wears.
She was wearing an Adidas tracksuit, a full shell suit, like Elton John. Actually, it was Elton John.
What was she wearing? Clothes? This feels like that Michael
Gareth's just got
Parkinson and Meg
confused.
Ryan interview.
Leotard.
Gareth got confused because it was someone Queenie, and it was that's the mistake he's made there.
No, it was the Queen she was wearing. I can't remember exactly
Okay.
what. I was wearing my school uniform.
Did you speak to her at
No.
all?
No, words didn't pass between us. But the history is on our history lesson.
Oh,
and we'd
well, she would have been known a lot about that.
Yes. And so we all had to make a fake newspaper page and draw it out. And she came and had a look round at the stuff. And she
I don't like look round at the stuff like an episode of Breaking Bad.
she
Sound very sleazy.
the history teacher showed her around, and
Yes.
to be honest, and I understand it completely, but she didn't seem impressed.
No.
She looked at my work. She stood at my
Oh, did she,
shoulder
Gareth?
and looked at my work.
Oh, well, that's
And
exciting. Come on.
Passed no comment.
Oh.
Good or
Because
bad.
it was like the British monarchy, and she was just going, "Oh, that's great, Granddaddy." And no, she must be related to all
I've
of
done a
that.
history of royal assassinations. I don't know if that was... No, but, I understand. She has met JFK, she's met the Beatles, she's met Nelson Mandela. Seeing my weird history project...
Sarah
that was
Harding.
Even,
She's met them all.
She met Sarah Harding.
I'm sure she has. I didn't meet the Queen. That was a good anecdote, wasn't it? But no, I didn't meet her, but I was at Buckingham Palace once at some sort of garden party event, and I saw her.
Oh yeah.
And I was with my goddaughter, Betty, who was having a sly fag, I'm not going to lie. She's on the electronic ones now, so it's fine. I'm sure she won't
That's
mind me
good.
mentioning this. and I suddenly saw the Queen, and we were by these bushes, and then I saw the Queen walking through the bushes towards us near the bushes.
She was coming out of the bushes. What had the Queen been doing in the bushes?
Well, no, the difficult thing was I said, Betty the Queen. But of course I realised she probably thought I was using some inappropriate nickname for her.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't. Can I just say I'd like to apologise?
She might have been in the bushes looking for a corgi or a doggy.
Look, what she was doing in those bushes is her business and remains her business.
I don't want to get all up in her business. I'm fine with not doing.
She's very good with people, the Queen. I'll just read this. She met up with the town crier, Tony Appleton, and he had been the one who'd announced the births of Prince George and Charlotte, which is nice. So he said when he met the Queen in Windsor, and he said, I said to Her Majesty, I introduced your 2 great-grandchildren to the world. He said, and she laughed and said, oh, did you? And that's the way she has. That's the way she has with people that makes
Can't buy that kind of communication.
It's better than my lines on David Gandy. We should say, I would like to know if any of our loyal readers have had any royal encounters.
Yes, kiss and tell stories.
No, not kiss and tell stories.
Oh.
We haven't got the pockets for those kind of lawsuits.
Oh.
Can you text us in on 81215? Because we'd love to know.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Talking about the Queen on Absolute Radio this morning. Well, specifically royal encounters we're discussing, aren't we?
Yes, Ronan in Reading on 908 has said, during a visit to Oman, where my dad worked in the embassy, the Queen was introduced to all the families along the line. My little sister was caught on camera picking her nose in one shot and then shaking Her Majesty's hand in the other. Another reason for always wearing gloves.
I like that child.
That's true. I don't know if it is. I hope it is, though.
I think that child's a bit of a
I don't
little...
mean in a mean way. I just think, I'd like to believe people are honest.
Are you calling the listeners liars, Alan?
I think
some of them are
I think
liars.
that little girl was a bit of a Corbynista waiting to happen.
I'll tell you who's an honest listener. 631 sent us a blank text, and then a few moments later sent us a text saying, I sent a blank text. So hats off to 631.
That's 631's version of I carried a watermelon.
And Samuel Wilson has said, Prince Harry gave me a Mars bar, seriously. So that's cool.
That's I like that. That sounds like a News of the World headline back in the day.
I like a humdrum version of a religious encounter,
Yes.
of a royal encounter.
That'll be
rather.
how you are knighted in the future. When when William and Harry are knighting people, they'll just give you a Mars bar.
That'd be good.
354 says, I have a kiss and tell story. When I saw the Queen, Gene Simmons...
I'm going to stop this kiss and tell story.
Terry Wogan were there.
That's nice.
Kiss and tell, kiss and chat show, you see.
Oh,
I see.
it's not nice. It's a silly joke.
It's a silly joke, no more from the...
But you know what? This is Absolute Radio, and it's the home of the silly joke.
You're listening to the Frank Skinner podcast from Absolute Radio. Want your Frank fix a little sooner? Listen live every Saturday from 8 a.m. on Absolute Radio. Across the UK on digital radio, mobile apps, and in London and the South East on 105.8 FM.
Absolute Radio.
So, Emily, you've been, playing the big gun. Talking about going to Montenegro with David Gandy, but you're not the only one having travels at the moment, Em.
Oh, why?
That's all I want to say.
Where have you been?
Last weekend, Laura and I went to Newcastle.
Oh, how was it?
It was good. It was for gigs, so, but it was the end of Laura's...
Oh, was he doing a benefit run gigs? Is he hard up?
No, like
Please give generously.
comedy gigs. You've misunderstood.
Okay.
In your role as a stand-up comedian.
Do you know, Gareth got quite firm with me, and I found it rather erotic. It was more erotic than OMGANDY coming out of the sea.
Wow.
Anyway, continue.
Laura drove because when we're in the car together, she has to drive because she gets very car sick.
Oh, really?
And controlling.
All right.
It doesn't work if we have massive rows if I drive. But then the thing about
save that for your relationship counsellor, maybe.
I'm used to driving, so if I doze off, I wake up in a terrible panic.
Oh, yeah.
Have you had that?
I've had that as passenger, falling asleep and then waking up worried. It's horrible.
Because we're so used to being the driver all the time.
I had that recently.
And falling asleep when you're driving is very bad, isn't it?
That is one of the things that they consider bad, yeah.
I think that shows you both in a wonderful light.
Oh,
But you're
terrible.
responsible men who take responsibility for the other
Who
people
don't
in the
want to
car.
die, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
So you're in the car in Newcastle.
Yeah, so we're at Newcastle now.
you got there.
The scene
Yeah.
we got there.
Got there. I was just worried things might go off to a service station and we might spend some time there. And,
No.
you know.
Marks and Spencer's.
Yeah.
Let's cut to the chase. We
Okay.
did go to a Marks and Spencer's.
Natch.
I hadn't written that down, but if you want to
Did you
hear
pick up some?
about
Did you pick up some underpants?
No, it's mainly chicken and salads that they're into. The Marks and Spencer's Simply Food. That's the
Yes.
yeah,
Okay.
very good. For that.
I think we got some school shorts for Ethan.
Oh, lovely.
But I
Well, the motorway
embarrassed-
service station. That's rather cruel.
I embarrassed myself in a Japanese restaurant because I ordered green tea.
Hang on, where are we here? Are we on the motorway still?
No, we're at Newcastle now.
Okay.
We've been to Marks and Spencer's in Newcastle,
Did you buy the shorts?
which was good. They had Marks and Spencer's have an Alexa Chung range at the moment, Emily.
I know,
don't
and
know
I
if you know
love
about
it.
this.
I absolutely
And what
love
she's done,
Chung.
she's gone back through the archive of.
She's gone back through the arcade.
They call it the arcave at Marks and Spencer's. There's a
Arcade.
cave full of all the stuff they used to sell.
It's like a man cave, except it's an
It's a
arcade.
play on words. And
Alexa range
Yeah,
is-
they basically it's oldie worldy Marks and Spencer's stuff that Alexa Chung might wear.
That sounds good.
There's a trench. There's all sorts.
It's really oldie worldy. They built a World War I trench in Marks and
good.
Spencer's, and it's all that sort of vibe of warfare.
And they've got
regalia.
nylons and cigarettes.
Yes.
No, it's I love.
We had a discussion about whether anyone other than Alexa Chung might wear those clothes. What do you think?
Yeah, I would.
You're the fashion expert.
I would too.
Not giving you the comedy chops you want here, am I? What? So what
it's
happened then at the Japanese restaurant?
Well, there was something floating in my green tea,
Bits, innit?
and I picked it out, and it was a piece of rice.
Oh,
In fairness, when in Rome,
yeah.
And so I was like, "Oh no, I'm going to have to
I'm
talk to
sorry.
them about this. I can't drink it.
We-
It's got rice floating in it."
we're gonna. I think you're about to complain, and this might be the greatest anecdote I've ever heard. So we're going to have to leave things there. But sorry to leave you on tenterhooks.
Okay.
We'll be back in a minute.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Gareth.
Yeah, so I'm in Newcastle in a Japanese restaurant, and I've ordered green tea, and there's rice floating in it.
See, I think that I already feel like I can guess an explanation here because it comes in tiny cups, doesn't it?
Yes, what the
Maybe-
green tea does. Isn't
Yeah.
that sake?
No,
Oh, I
green
love a
tea comes
sake,
in a
me.
little-
No, I'm being
Do you?
sincere. I'm not being sarcastic.
I think maybe they put the grain of rice in there so that they can use the small cups because otherwise, like, rice is quite absorbent, isn't it? So
Well,
if
that's
they-
what you're meant to use for the mobile phone going down the toilet.
That's right. A little life hack for any of our readers. If your phone
get
goes
drunk.
down the
So
toilet,
you're saying they've put rice in to stop the inside of
I don't think they should put
of a
ricin
cup.
in.
Yeah.
Ricin will poison you.
A cup to stop it getting
Too
damp.
full. Too full.
Anyway, no, and so I thought I'm going to have to complain about this, and there was two ladies working in there, and so I summoned up the courage.
Was
and
it
I
just
said,
two ladies working in there?
I think there were other people in the kitchen making the food.
Okay.
I didn't
Right,
investigate.
front of house. Front of house, there was
Yeah.
two ladies.
There was a dumb waiter. An actual dumb. That's
bit
how they
mean.
got
Yeah.
because the kitchen was
Poor guy.
upstairs. The kitchen
just
was
quiet.
upstairs. That's what I mean. And we just did a dumb waiter joke.
I know we did. I know.
And
We're the first people
so I
for
said-
about 57 years, in fairness.
I said, "Excuse me, there's something floating in my green tea. Could I have another?"
What, you've just done a dumb waiter joke, and now you're going to say the waiter, there's a fly in my soup.
I said rice. Did I say
Okay.
rice in my? And she said, "No, it's green tea. That's part of it. It's roasted rice.
Oh,
roasted
really?
rice. It goes in green tea."
She sounds like me with David Gandy.
Yeah, she was.
So it
for
was
different
part
reasons.
of it.
It was a laugh of disdain.
Oh.
She should have put. I think that is unusual enough to
I've never had
politely
that.
explain.
I've never had that,
situation.
and I've had enough green tea in my time.
So she was suggesting you were ignorant
Yes.
about foodstuffs.
Yes,
Part of the deal.
I am very thoughtful about food stuff.
Is that one of your rules?
No, that's one of Will.i.am's strange identity.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So at the gig, right, in Newcastle stand...
Oh, we're back at the gig?
Yes. I had a very...
So was the Japanese meal in Newcastle?
Sorry. Yeah, that was in Newcastle. They have
Okay.
Japanese restaurants in Newcastle.
Okay.
Small
I was
world, man.
doing the gig right. See what you think about this.
Were you doing the gig right, though? Or were you doing the gig wrong?
I was doing it right.
Okay, good.
And I do a joke about my children. I say, I've got 2 children. And then a guy in the front row shouts out, Ethan!
Wow.
That's your child's actual name?
That's my child's actual name. Now, I understand the situation that was someone who is he must have seen me before. I assumed he must have seen me before. Or maybe he listens to this show.
Now,
it turns out he
was
is
it
a
either
listener.
of those?
He is a listener who has already tweeted in today, by the way.
He's tweeted us?
But as ways
Is it David
of letting
Gandy?
someone know that you are aware of them and aware of their work, I think shouting out their children's names is a fairly chilling one.
Yeah.
Just to let listeners know, if you want to let us know that you know of us and approve, research, like, relatives, like, don't,
Yeah.
don't, and we were, me and Laura were away for the weekend.
Ethan, he's in the van!
Our children with their grandparents.
This is an extraordinary story. We are going to have to go to the news, and let's hope you're not on it, Gareth. Back soon.
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
This is the Frank Skinner radio show. He's not here this week. I'm awfully sorry, but I'm afraid he's otherwise engaged. You can text the show, though, on 81215. Oh, by the way, I should introduce myself. My name is Emily Dean, and sitting with me this week are Gareth Richards and Alun Cochrane. Do you like how formal that was?
I like sitting with me.
Did I say sitting? I love sitting with me.
Very funny.
My cohorts/co-hosts. You can also follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, or you can email the show via the Absolute Radio website. We sort of have a text in this morning.
Well, I mean, if I may give people a little soupçon of the sort of text that we're getting, 787 has just texted, David Gandy. And that's the level of communication that we are garnering here.
Well, 787, you haven't seen him in a kayak yet.
Yeah, is that a special pair of shorts that he had?
Yeah.
And 135 has texted, I had a drink with Prince Philip. We've got a have you met a royal text
Who's
running,
that,
haven't we?
175?
135 has texted, I had a drink with Prince Philip at the bar of the National Mountaineering Centre, North Wales.
That's so Prince Andrew.
The centre director and me. Only HRH had a tomato juice. And that's from
did he?
Alex from Forestdale. Tomato juice, a weird drink to drink.
Bloody Mary, maybe. Going with the royal theme.
Are we allowed to
Steady
say
on.
that on? Okay, fine.
It's a drink. It's
Gareth looked genuinely worried when I said that.
Yeah, I'm worried too. We're probably
We've got
quite
a sort
quick
of
to-
another text. Well, we haven't, but we are convinced if you're... Maybe you've been out last night, you're a bit hungover, you've been celebrating something or other. Mm-hmm. You may have missed earlier this morning, we revealed that Frank Skinner will be the new Doctor Who companion. Okay?
According to rumours on the internet.
According to one man
It's
with an
funny.
egg avatar on Twitter.
It's funny that Gareth and I are so square that we can't quite bear it if you leave that hanging out there without trying to harness it back to the truth.
Square/professional.
I feel immediately uncomfortable about making an announcement like
I know,
that without
he's-
somehow tethering it in reality.
You're absolutely right, Cochrane. And, of course, he is not officially the Doctor Who companion. I'm just saying...
As far as we know.
No,
Yeah.
but can we just re-examine the evidence this morning? The evidence, Alun Cochrane.
Frank's off.
Okay, Gareth?
And there's going to be an announcement of the new assistant for Doctor Who, apparently during the football this evening.
I was hoping for something more specific, but yes, you're right, the football. Alan?
He's had his teeth whitened.
Yeah? I mean, to me, that is the surest sign.
Yeah.
He said that he liked the second series of Broadchurch.
Yeah.
Well, that clinches it.
The writer for Broadchurch is the person writing Doctor Who now.
When the writer from Broadchurch didn't like the second series of Broadchurch. I mean, what the hell is going on here?
Even he's just got the first series on his CV.
But if he is involved in some way, well, I don't know.
Well,
I mean, we'll find out when
let's just
Gary
say,
Lineker announces it.
people are going to be sitting down to watch the FA Cup semi-final thinking, Oh, I wonder who's the new Doctor Who assistant. They're not even going to be watching it for the result of the football match. But anyway.
You say people are going to be sitting down. We're all going to be sitting down. We're all going to be texting. Our WhatsApp group's going to be going wild. The Frank Skinner WhatsApp group. Me and David curled up in our little slippers on the sofa. I said, "Do you want a cup of tea, Em?"
Who's this, David Baddiel?
No!
I think it's David Gandy again.
Oh, right.
Again.
Me and Gandy. I've got mentionitis.
Oh, haven't you?
I've got to get that scene too.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So our text-ins this morning, we know what they are. It is Royal Encounters. We'd like to know about your Royal Encounters. Thank you, readers. And also, if, in the unlikely event that Frank Skinner isn't the new Doctor Who companion, who would you like to be?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Why don't we ask them that? I mean, I just thought of it, but I think it's a good... Because I would go Nick Knowles.
I liked your shout for Robbie Savage. I would enjoy that.
Yes. But Nick Knowles could do with the work. I don't know, I just feel he could.
Savage is getting quite a lot, isn't he?
Yeah.
Redecorate the TARDIS.
He would look lovely. I like Nick Knowles. He's great.
What about the guy off Grand Designs? What's his name?
I don't know, but he talks a bit
Doesn't sound like that. You know that other guy?
Oh, is he called Kevin, Daisy?
Yeah,
Kevin MacLeod.
He'd be good, wouldn't he?
Daisy's...
There can be only one.
He'd be good in the TARDIS, going, I really like what you've done in here. It looks so small from the outside, but
that'd be
it's
good.
really big in here. It's like a TARDIS.
I've got an idea for the new companion. Well, you know what I'm going to say.
No, I don't.
Emily D.
OMGANDY.
David Gandy.
But they could play that sort of Old Spice type music when he every time he comes in. Because when you see Gandy, you do feel like that he should be accompanied by an orchestra at all times.
Same age as me. Did you know that, David Gandy? He's 36, exactly the same as me.
Just comparing you two. That's all.
Do you think I look older or younger than David Gandy? Do you think different species or?
Shall I change the subject?
Yeah, let's change the subject. Alan.
I don't normally get drawn into the world of virals, guys. It's not really my thing.
Not since you got married.
You're, you're a viral refuser.
Not since I got the cream.
God.
I have watched the...
Absolutely disgusting.
I have watched the Johnny Depp apology video.
Yes!
Rather a few times.
Did you see this, Gareth?
Yes, I did see that.
I mean, I'd go so far as to say it's my favourite film of recent ones.
In case anyone missed
Certainly
this
let's have Johnny Depp in.
Yeah.
He's not in very good films. Can we talk about this?
Anymore, he's not in very good
Well,
films.
he never has been, really. What's he been in? 21 Jump Street and that Tim Burton thing with eyeliner.
21 Jump Street?
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, he was in the original series. That wasn't a film.
Oh, was it?
But what's he done other than eyeliner films with Tim Burton?
Oh, there's a lot of eyeliner films.
What other ones?
A lot of eyeliner. In fact, this apology video.
Text in if you know any good films Johnny Depp
There
has
was
done.
one recently where he was playing a man who isn't as attractive as Johnny Depp.
Oh.
Where it was like, you know,
Really?
he was sort of like a gangster and he was bald.
Oh, I
Yeah.
don't know that one. He he looks like a gangster in this apology video. He's
So
sort
it's,
of,
he was
leaning
apologising,
back,
we should
looking
say,
a
to the
bit-
Australian government, wasn't he? Because
Yeah.
he brought his pet dogs, Pistol and Boo, nice
Yeah.
names. What do you call a dog after a weapon? Horrible.
Yeah.
Into Australia. And they have
think
very
it-
strict quarantine laws.
I think it was his wife that signed a document incorrectly. She said
Yes.
that she was tired and, you know, made
Emotional.
bad decisions. She made a bad decision through tiredness.
Yes.
So they smuggled a dog in. Beautiful irony, I thought. It said in the paper that he was there filming the last of the Pirates films, and I thought, he was filming a Pirates film and he got done for smuggling. Brilliant. In it, when art reflects life and life reflects art. Absolutely great. I enjoyed that a
He
lot.
was extraordinary in that video.
Shiver me timbers. All these dogs don't have the right papers, but we're going to take them into the country anyway. Yo ho ho.
Yeah, he's got a mafia look about him.
And a mafia voice.
And a really disinterested... I mean, I can do disinterested, but he really...
He says, when you disrespect Australian law, they will tell you firmly.
Oh, that's because a guy told him that he was going to destroy the dogs, and an Australian politician said they'd better get out soon or I'm going to destroy them. Aussies don't mess about, do they?
No.
They're plain-speaking people,
It
and I
just
like
went
that.
very, my associates would like to speak to you. I thought it was actually sinister, I thought. And I noticed he had a leather pendant round his neck.
Oh, always.
In your 50s, love. It's all gone a bit Richard Hammond.
I think that's holding in a dewlap, though, isn't it? He's probably got that bag of throat thing happening, hasn't he? It's like a halter neck just keeping some stuff in there, isn't it?
Did you think... I mean, I think they're a nice couple. They're a very handsome couple.
I've never heard of Heard until now. I've never heard of Heard.
It means when you hear something in the past.
No. But Amber Heard, his wife, I've never heard of her.
Oh.
I know,
Heard.
The thing that I love most about it was a bit like when a kid is forced to apologise for something and says, sorry, and doesn't mean it in the slightest. Yes. I didn't buy the apology.
No, there's something they did very wrong about the apology. That is, they made it like...
Well, do you want to hold fire on this?
I'll tell you after the
Hold
song.
your high horses, and it's not a song, but,
what is it?
FYI. Well, you'll find out in a minute.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Oh, I'll tell you what, the switchboard has lit up.
Has it?
The switchboard has lit up since we slightly... I mean, did we slightly criticise Johnny Depp's acting oeuvre?
No,
I think we did.
We didn't say he was a bad actor. I suppose we just were questioning how many really decent films he'd been in.
Well,
it seems like he's doing movies for the money recently.
475 Lee in Rugby has said, Johnny Depp has done lots of awesome films without eyeliner or Tim Burton. Blur, Black Mass, Once Upon a Time in Mexico, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Sleepy Hollow, to name a few. Bit of a silly comment on such a talented actor. You're right, Lee, and I think you're taking this exactly as seriously as it deserves.
You know what, Lee?
Black Mass is the one where he's bald and dresses up like an ugly man.
Yeah, I mean, in that
Black
list...
Mass.
I just say I don't remember Pete Bradshaw reviewing it like that in The Guardian. The one where he's bald and dresses up like an ugly man. Also, FYI, that's not going to endear us to Lee from Rugby, who's already quite angry with us. Lee from Rugby, I'd like to apologise. You know why? I could be facetious here, but I know what it's like when you hero worship someone, OMGANDY, and people criticise their work in any way, and I respect you, so I'm sorry for that.
Yeah.
Although he does wear eyeliner, come on. But you're right, he has been in good films. What was that film, Donnie Brasco? That wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
This is what we should do. We should apologise in the style of Johnny Depp.
Oh, yes, okay.
Which is... because he started his apology.
Okay, Gareth, let's all do our Johnny Depps, Gareth.
Yeah, so this is apologising for me for criticising Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp is one of the greatest actors that the world has ever known. He is good at pretending to be other people, and people should watch his acting and enjoy it very much.
Thank you, Johnny.
He is a great actor, and his acting is really good.
I don't remember Johnny going on this much.
The reason why people don't criticize him is because he's really good at acting.
Okay, thanks, Johnny.
When I said what I said about Johnny...
Johnny, we're done here.
The joy of Johnny and Amber's video is that between the two of them, they only apologised for 38 seconds. They didn't really manage that much, and that was for a crime. This was just for a joke on a radio show.
I think they should have had orange boiler suits on. It would have driven home the message more. You know what I also think is at the end, when they finish it, Al, he just says, thank you. And then looks really awkward and looks to camera. I don't believe him.
Yeah, I think there should have been a clapperboard coming. Cut! Because they're used to that. They must have had a clapperboard lying around from one of their films. There is counterbalance to this, by the way.
Go on, then.
Sophie, long-time reader, has said, yes, that film where Johnny plays an Irish gangster is called Black Mass. It looks like the best film he's done because, let's face it, he's not a very versatile actor, is he? Even Fear and Loathing, potentially a good film, he mumbles all the way through. In What's Eating Gilbert Grape, it's Saved by Leonardo. And yes, the leather thong in his 50s, Shudder. I think she's going to have to issue an apology.
Maybe we've been unduly harsh on him.
I'm quite good at apologising, I think. I think I'm all right. What I do is...
Oh, really? Can you teach me how?
Yeah, I just look at the person, I go, I'm really sorry about that thing, and I mean it.
Do you know what I do?
That's my life hack for you all out there.
You don't do that terrible I'm sorry that you feel that way.
No, that's the worst.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry if I upset you. Wrong.
Someone's been on the receiving end of that.
I'm sorry for upsetting you. I'm sorry if you are so feeble and sensitive.
Do you know what I say, Gareth? Often to people on the end of the telephone when I'm trying to sort out life admin, I say, oh, I'm so sorry, I obviously haven't been clear enough. Let me start again. How do you feel about
It's a
that?
touchingly sincere apology for them being an idiot.
Skinner, Dean and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
We're not abusing Johnny Depp anymore because we've done that and we've apologised for it and
Johnny
we've moved
Depp
on.
is
Johnny
an
Depp-
excellent actor who I respect, and his work in acting has
It has to be
done
protected.
it must be protected.
However, we will.
Reputation has
Just
to be
apologise
protected.
quickly. Don't do a lecture about it. Just say, sorry, we tried to sneak the dogs in. We shouldn't have done that. Sorry, we got caught. Sorry about that.
We will recap on our other spinning plate of a text in, which is
Mm-hmm.
Have You Ever Met a Royal? Gareth, of course, has met the
Close
Queen.
friends with the Queen.
I saw
Indeed.
the Queen in the bushes.
You
Well,
saw
not in the
Queen
bushes, but you know what I mean.
Natalie has texted, I served with Prince Harry in Afghanistan.
Oh, okay,
Wow.
Natalie, that's impressive.
That's a top trump, isn't it, so far?
You win.
And then we've got 042 has texted, when I was 8, the Queen came to my St John's ambulance after school club to celebrate its 50th anniversary. We all lined up and got told only to address her if she addressed us. So
Oh.
when she told me I looked smart, I thought I had to respond, and all I could come up with to say was, "You do too, Mum."
Oh, that's rather nice. That's polite. I like that.
That's nice.
I love a St John's ambulance anecdote.
Yeah, they're
They're one of my
not-
favourite
not so
emergency
common, are they?
services.
Are they?
I love them.
That's nice.
Suggestions for new Doctor Who assistant. We're also spinning that plate. Catherine Hepburn, because he's a Time Lord, so he can have anyone in time.
Good point.
Yes, although it's still quite a strange choice, if I'm
Yes,
honest.
and Widdicombe. No,
Okay.
that's from Kevin Stringer. Absolutely no explanation of that at all. Kathy Burke. Kathy Burke.
Oh, Kathy
Burke would
Burke would
be
be
great.
good.
She
She'd
should
be
do more
excellent.
acting, shouldn't she?
Yeah.
I love Kathy Burke.
And someone's emailed saying, picking up on Kevin MacLeod, surely George Clark for his amazing small spaces.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know George Clark from Channel 4?
Yeah, that guy.
Oh, it's great in here. It's really small.
Yeah.
That's what he'd be like.
Well, all of
Love
these
what
would be
you've done with
good.
the Caravan.
All of these would be good, but well, you know who my favourite would be?
Frank Skinner.
Yes.
Yes.
That's good.
Oh, please let it
Which
happen.
we
I'll
have
do
announced
anything.
today is definitely the Doctor Who
It's not
assistant.
happening. We're going to get in real trouble,
Yeah,
aren't
no,
we?
But he could be. There's all...
What about Obama? He'd be a good
Do you
assistant,
know
wouldn't
what?
he?
We still believe.
What about President Obama?
It could happen.
Yes, we can.
That's not going to be. There's more chance of the big fat hairy bikers.
They'd be good as well. They know where they're going.
No, they wouldn't.
They could cook as well in the TARDIS.
Oh, that's true.
Do you want a stew? Something like that.
I just think there's one man for the job, and we all know who he is. And his teeth are looking surprisingly white right now.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Have you heard about a new restaurant that is opening? It's a pop-up restaurant, I think, in London.
Oh, I
And,
hate pop-up restaurants. I
Do
hate
you?
pop-up
Why?
shops.
Tell me
I've got
why.
a really
Do you
weird
like
thing
permanence?
about pop-up.
pop-up books.
I don't mind pop-up books. Pop-up books I'm totally
What
fine
about-
with, but I think they should be pop-up and everything else should just be,
What about
real.
if someone pops up to see you? Don't like that?
That's a pop-in, I think.
Okay.
I'm alright with a pop-in, but
Okay.
even then, depending on who it is.
Yeah.
But I
You don't
it's a
strike
new-
me as a sort of person that would like an impromptu unscheduled visit.
Don't mind.
I'd feel nervous of ringing the bell.
Depends on guest.
Okay.
Depends on the guest.
Well, I don't know whether this pop-up restaurant will be your cup of tea for a number of reasons,
Is it
Alan.
a tea
I
shop?
don't know.
Is it
tell
a pure
us
coffee
about
shop?
It's going to be called Bunyadi, and it's...
Oh, yes, I know about this.
It's naked. You can be
It's
naked.
It's naked. The dress code is naked.
Well, so you
Yeah.
go...
That really is a pop-up restaurant. Let's be honest.
yeah.
I mean, there's a few I'd like to go there with.
Yes. OMG. Yeah. They're going to have very unattractive staff in that restaurant, aren't they? I mean, that is going to be a problem, isn't it? I mean, that is going to be a problem.
I mean, if you got a job there, how embarrassing.
Yeah.
I was considered unattractive enough to get a job
Yeah.
at
That's gonna be
Banyardi.
tricky.
Is it called Banyardi?
Yes.
So
I
hang
don't
on,
know
it's a
exactly how
restaurant where
say
you
it.
go for lunch with no clothes on. Are you sure it's not an anxiety dream? That sounds
It
like...
is, and I
Oh,
mean...
and they get given robes. Like a sort of preoperative gown.
There's lockers where you can get changed.
Oh, you seem to know an awful lot about it.
I've researched it. And then they give you a robe, and then when you get to your table, you can then take your robe off. So you don't have to walk around jangling about.
Right.
You can, it's just like when you're at your table.
Gareth's got a lot of piercings. He probably should have mentioned that. That's what he means by the jangling about.
It's not appropriate. What if there was an accident with some hot fat?
Well, the food is going to be flame
I'm not
grilled.
describing an attractive but portly person, by the way. I'm just saying with genuine hot fat on extremities.
It would definitely make a difference to what you order, wouldn't it? Like, I wouldn't order, like, a ramen soup in case I burned my chest, like, with a little drop or something.
I wouldn't order anything. I wouldn't want someone to see my stomach getting bigger as the meal progressed. I mean, I just think... It'll be candlelit, no doubt.
It is candles. There's a lot of naked flames. I'm worried about all the naked flames. There's a grill, there's candles.
I've had a lot of naked flames in my time. I'm not going to be leaning over the table, let's put it that way, with those candles.
And my problem is with, like, when I order something, I'm always looking at what everyone else has got. Do you know what I mean? I always feel like everyone else is getting a bigger portion than me.
Yeah.
And, like, there's a lot of anxiety.
People with that psychology, I don't think.
I don't think people are getting a bigger portion than you. I used to think that, and then I met Gandy.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
What were we talking about? Because I was really loving it. Oh, the Naked Restaurant.
Ian Angel has said, how come they haven't called it Naked Lunch? You know, as in the book. I guess.
Yes.
I don't know.
That's a good point, Ian Angel, but then, you know, not everyone spends their whole life...
Punning.
Quite.
Although that is what I called this, talking about this idea when I came up with it, Naked Lunch.
I don't think men... I mean... How can I put this delicately?
Stop doing all the puns, Gareth.
No, I was talking about the Naked Restaurant.
Oh, right.
I think men get the better deal, if you know what I mean.
Oh,
I think women do look better in those situations.
Oh, right, I see. Women
what
get
I'm
the better
saying,
deal.
yeah, I think we look better naked.
And it's definitely...
Me, Sarah and Daisy, specifically.
It's definitely more
two.
hazardous to eat out sans clothes for the gentleman. Like, it's definitely more of a...
I just don't want to see those old hairy Shire horse legs. I'm sorry.
It's so
not
glad
conducive.
That's what you said. I was really worried that was going a different...
Also, we could do Naked Radio. Oh, Frank would be furious.
Is this... Are we still broadcasting, or is this a game of spin the bottle or something? What's happened here?
I just feel, if I'm going to strip off, I want to be paid.
That is a rule that I've lived my life by.
I mean, don't you think that's fair enough?
And I don't think it's a bad one, Emily.
I'm going to charge.
Go, girl. Go, girl. This is... We had girl power, and this is what it's led to.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Well, no, I'm not saying I want to. I'm just saying...
Look.
I'd rather get some cash for my trouble.
Have we accidentally booked the Emily Dean from Babe Station today? Is that what's happened? There is one, isn't there?
Would you go, Gareth?
No. I don't like being naked.
Okay.
In front of other people.
Okay. Alan?
I'm not hungry. No, I'd go. I'd be in there like a shot.
So are you okay with nudity,
so
Alan?
would.
Like changing rooms, etc.? Are you one of those people who...
No.
Hang on, there's a naked changing rooms. I've never seen that episode.
No, I don't know. I probably wouldn't go.
Okay. Well, okay, so I can exclusively reveal none of us will be available at Banyardi. However, do talk to my agent regarding the other naked appearance. I will need cash monies, though. Listen, before we go today, I should actually congratulate a couple of members of our Absolute fraternity. Richie Firth, who's getting married today. Good luck. And well done.
Best of.
Yes. And someone... What are they going to play at the wedding? There's always a guarantee. There's always a bit of a Chaka Khan, isn't there?
Oh, they'll have planned all that out. In fact, I dare say they've talked
Thanks
about
for those contributions. They'll have planned all that out. Thank you.
Yeah.
And the lovely Jeff Lloyd had a baby boy, which is very exciting. A little absolute baby. I bet he's not wearing a bathrobe when he meets the controller. It's been so nice having you this morning, our lovely readers. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Gareth. Thank you, me. Thank you, David Gandy, for existing. Be seeing you.
The Frank Skinner Show on Absolute Radio. Back Saturday morning from 8. Tune in live for the full Frank experience.